a real opening now in the Democratic Party. Opening is not quite the right word. A coming together, consolidating in the Democratic Party around conservative principles. Excuse me, around progressive principles, rejecting the so-called conservative principles that Republicans, libertarians, and a few corporate Democrats have been promoting over the years. And I think this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing for the party. I think it's a good thing for the nation. The same thing is not happening in our media. In our media, we are seeing the it's time to bow down to President Trump show happening. And I was just astonished when and I shouldn't have been. I mean, I shouldn't have been. But especially after as badly treated as Mika Brzezinski was by Donald Trump, tweeting that she and Joe were having a relationship and it was going south and that they were weird people, and I forget the exact phrases he used, but he, it was some pretty vicious tweets against them when they were trashing him before he became president. Now, of course, they're back to sucking up to him, and arguably, Joe and Mika made Donald Trump president by putting him on MSNBC, morning after morning for years, and taking him seriously as a thoughtful commentator and all this kind of stuff. Between them and Fox News, there would be no Donald Trump presidency. I am convinced. But now, Mika, who is supposed to be the Democrat and who actually was, pretty favorable toward Bernie Sanders. I mean, I think that she got his message. Not to say that she was opposed to Hillary Clinton. I think it's possible to support Hillary Clinton and support, Bernie Sanders' principles, because Hillary Clinton had adopted more than 90% of them on the one hand, and second, you look at the history of her career. Many parts of it were in that vein. Some weren't, obviously, but she's now in the past. Hillary Clinton has left the stage. I'm sure she's going to do great stuff with her life and with the Clinton Foundation. But but Bernie's still in the Senate. Elizabeth Warren is in the Senate, and so yesterday or day before yesterday, I guess it was, on Morning Joe, Mika plays this clip of Senator Warren and then goes off on it. And this is a slightly edited version that's floating around YouTube and the media, which I'm going to provide some commentary for. So here it starts. Starts out with Elizabeth Warren.
Republicans are taking over Congress. They are taking over the White House. But Republicans do not have majority support in this country.
And she's absolutely
the majority
right
of voters supported Democratic Senate candidates over Republican ones. And the majority supported a Democratic presidential candidate over a Republican one.
Therefore, no mandate.
The American people didn't give Democrats majority support so we could come back to Washington and play dead. They didn't send us here to whimper, whine, or grovel.
Yeah, and they didn't, right? So here's Mika.
And you have Elizabeth Warren, who's stepping out and basically looking like she's going to be the de facto head of the Democratic Party nationally. That is a...
Do you lead on anger, though? Because that doesn't seem very constructive to me.
That didn't sound to me like anger.
I love her. I'm getting tired of this act.
She's definitely giving voice to the people in the party and in the country who think Donald Trump is a disaster for the country.
Yeah, well, you know what?
There's a huge
part of the country that doesn't think so.
Right.
And she might want to be a little inclusive, because she's sounding like the people she's accusing of being exclusive.
This is like Mika's,
just got to stop.
Joe's
I'm
got
sorry.
his hand up her
It's
back and making
exhausting.
her mouth move.
And this was not helpful during the campaign.
This is a
wasn't.
Joe Scarborough
There's
rant
an
being
anger
done by
there that
Mika.
was shrill and
shrill?
A step above what it needed to be.
Mika, who used to attack people for using the word shrill to describe a woman?
It's not going to work. At some point, we have to look at what happened. And look at the people who we
that's
lost
what she
along
just
the
said.
way.
What happened was
and
Democrats
why I'm so critical
got a majority
of that
of the votes.
soundbite and every other rant I've heard is it's not showing listening, it's not showing learning, that there was something to be learned. And by the way, at the beginning of a new presidency, isn't the first thing that should happen out of the box as we look forward to working with Republicans?
Right.
We support the new
just
president-elect.
Like they did 8 years ago,
and we hope to move forward together and find things
just like
we
they
can
did in
agree on.
92 for
Isn't
Bill
that
Clinton.
the example that Democrats have accused Republicans of not holding up to for 8 years, of being
not just 8 years,
absolutely
Mika.
vitriolic against Republicans,
Forever.
for being so difficult, for trying to bring Obama down from day one? Boy, this reminds me of 8 years ago, except now it's Democrats doing it in a very heated, unmeasured way.
Except it's not. Elizabeth Warren was not saying we are going to fight them on everything. What she was saying is we're not going to roll over and play dead. And Democrats shouldn't be rolling over and playing dead. And she's absolutely right. So, I guess, I guess our corporate media is, or at least, the big time corporate media, NBC owned by Comcast, which is owned by, very wealthy right wing family in large part. It just looks like, okay, that's the road we're going to go down. So start looking for alternative sources of information. I'm telling you, your local progressive radio station, if that's not available in your area, there's all kinds of stuff on the internet. There's Free Speech TV. It's freespeech.org, and on Dish and Direct. There's this, our progressive channel 127 on Sirius XM, Sirius XM Progress. There's a lot of options.